What wake-up call do you need to make today a great day? To remind yourself every morning to get up and say, today's going to be a great day, and to recognize how and why, and to prioritize that for yourself. There is nothing left of me to do so if I don't put myself first. We tell ourselves our kids have to come first. Of course, that seems so important, and it is. Trust me, my kids are enormously important in my life, and I prioritize their needs on a daily basis. What if we prioritized making every day a great day? Hello. Welcome back to the Business of Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tarryn MacCarthy, and today's going to be a great frickin' day. It's going to be a great day. It is what I tell myself every day. And sometimes it lands and it feels true, and sometimes it feels hard to reach. But let me tell you what a gift of a mantra that is for me every single day of my life, because every day is valuable, whether it's hard or easy or exciting or busy or slow or overwhelming. Every day has the potential to be a great day. My daughter said this to me when she was 4 years old. My beautiful daughter, who's now 19. I cannot believe it. She came down the stairs one day and she said, "Mom, today's going to be a great day." And I thought, wow, imagine if we proclaimed that every single day. Imagine if we took our own power of creating our own reality and said, you know what, today is going to be a great day. I have no idea what today is going to bring. I can anticipate, I can worry, I can guess, I can be excited, but I literally have no idea what today is going to be. And if I claim today is a great day, it always, always is. Because even in the hard days, there is learning. If you're available to it. And I didn't always feel this way. I didn't always feel like a great day was possible. I didn't always feel like me proclaiming something was even very powerful. I felt like everything was happening to me all the time. Why is this happening to me, I would say? Or I feel like, it doesn't matter how I feel when I get up in the morning. I don't know what I'm going to come across at work today, and it might be a shit show. Excuse my French. It might be a shit show. And honestly, at one point in my life, I think every day felt like a shit show. In the practice. It really did. It felt like there was always surprises and fires I needed to put out. There were always moments where I'd be caught unawares, or someone would give their 2-week notice, or the suction machine would crap out, or I would miss another mommy and me muffin morning and feel bad about myself. Or I'd show up to a patient appointment and realize, oh my God, I was supposed to speak to their dentist about this case before I met with them. I felt like I was always playing catch up. And it was right around this time in my life when I realized I need some help. I need a coach. And I actually started about 17 years ago working with a coach. It was when I was really low. I was feeling like I just couldn't find, solid ground. Every day just felt like I was trying to tread water just to stay afloat. And I'd land into bed at night and just feel absolutely exhausted. Actually, the exhaustion was all day long. It was when I woke up, I felt exhausted. It just felt constantly exhausting. I thought, let me try this coaching thing out. And I started working with a coach. And to be honest with you, the first maybe year of working with her, I knew it was good for me, but I didn't understand an eighth of what she said. I was intrigued. I was definitely intrigued, but I didn't even understand the words she was saying, which is really fascinating. And by the way, I still work with her 17 years later. Can you believe that? How amazing is that? But I do want to say that there was a point in the very beginning, I think it was after the 4th or 5th scheduled appointment with her, that I had missed quite a few of them. Last minute, oh my gosh, I forgot. Last minute, I double booked myself. And I think this was the 4th or 5th appointment, and I can't remember how many of them I had missed or rescheduled. And she sat down with me and she said, Tarryn, I don't think this is going to work. I don't think that this is going to help you, because every time we get together, either you are late, you're squeezing it in between different appointments, you're ending the appointment early, or at the last minute you call and say you double booked yourself, which I get, but it's happening so frequently. And I don't think that you're prioritizing yourself. And so this relationship isn't going to work unless you start to put yourself first. Whew. Was that an eye-opener? Trust me, I got mad. Here my coach was firing me. I got defensive. Didn't she know I was a dentist? I was on call. There were other things in my life. I'm a mom. Suddenly there might be something that one of my kids needs. How could I plan for everything? I'm trying to juggle a household here and a practice. I had all these excuses. Who was she to tell me what I could and couldn't do and who I was prioritizing? I just put all this money down on a coach. Got very angry and defensive. And then I got really sad. Frustrated. What's wrong with me? Why can't I put myself first? She's clearly right. This is an appointment I have not held as a priority. I hold my patients' appointments as a priority. I show up to them. And I was honestly a little bit embarrassed because I used to get so frustrated when patients would cancel on me at the last minute. And I thought, oh my gosh, here I am doing that to her. She's a professional running a practice. Who am I to do this to her? So I started shaming myself. And all of this to say that this heightened emotion, this fear, anger, shame was actually a really important turning point for me. Because I no longer had someone just kind of holding my hand like a lot of my friends were doing, saying, oh, it's going to be fine. Just get through this time in your life. It's just a hard time in your life. I know. But the hard time just kept perpetuating. I kept putting off taking care of myself. I kept telling myself, oh, it'll happen when I'm on vacation. It'll happen, next summer. It'll happen on the weekend. And even when I got to those places, they still didn't fuel me in a sustainable way. So wouldn't you believe, even that day, that my coach said, I don't think this is going to work out between us anymore. I think you need to reevaluate if this is really what you want, this coaching relationship. Even that day was a great day. It was a great day because it was one of the biggest lessons of my life. And, I've had some really big lessons in really big moments that seem from the outside like they would be so much more meaningful. But this was a big one for me when she fired me because I realized I hadn't been putting myself first. And I started noticing the behavior of double booking, trying to squeeze things in. One of my addictions at the time was staying really busy. I didn't know it was an addiction. I didn't know it was a habit that I'd gotten into of just constantly going. And another thing that I had gotten really addicted to was putting other people in front of me. And I say addiction, and I use this term in a way from the definition of doing something in the moment that feels good, that gives you a little dopamine hit, but over the long term is actually really detrimental to your happiness and your health. I mean, isn't that exactly what that is? In the moment, it feels really good to say, yeah, I'll show up. I'll do that thing for you. I'll make sure I make that happen. And even though I had something scheduled with my coach, even though I had that time put aside, I would double book myself and put other people's needs ahead of my own. Felt really good in the moment because that people pleasing was a little dopamine hit of, yeah, I'm doing something really good for someone. And I think that's making them like me more. But over the long run, it didn't make me feel very good. It actually made me feel worse. And the worse I felt, the more I felt like I needed to please others. So that was a really big day. That was a great day. Really great. Greater than some of the easy days or fun days. It was a great day because it made me take a really hard look at myself. and start asking myself the question of, how can I prioritize myself? Isn't it about time? Here, I've said to myself, I'm interested in taking better care of myself, but when am I actually going to decide to take care of myself? And prioritization is a really interesting word. We use it so incorrectly. Prioritization doesn't mean putting it in the top 10 things of your to-do list that day. It means putting it first. Prioritization means making it number one. We've kind of been loosey-goosey with this term. I'm going to prioritize my health, but actually it's number 4, 7, 8, 23 on the list. I mean, prioritize my mental health. That's what I knew I needed to do. I knew that I was falling apart and it was impacting so many other aspects of my life, especially this really frenzied part. It doesn't feel good to schedule an appointment with somebody who's giving you a service and supporting you and your mental health, and then canceling at the last minute because you double booked yourself. It's embarrassing, yes, but it also makes you feel frenzied and out of control, especially if you've done it 2 or 3 times. And this, at a point in my life, was how I lived my life. And I told myself it was the cost of being successful and busy and being a mom and a business owner and a dentist. And it's just not true. It does not have to be that way. I didn't realize it yet at that point. The truth is, you can prioritize your own happiness and mental and emotional well-being and be an incredible dentist and leader and mom. In fact, that's exactly how you be an incredible dentist and leader and mom. It's not the other way around. Prioritizing yourself is a necessity. And it doesn't look like what other people tell you. There's so many people making so much money right now out there telling you that you will be happier if you're thinner. You will be happier if you make more money. You'll be happier if you have more patients in your office. You'll be happier if your kid gets into the club sport. You'll be happier if... And the truth is, everything is in your control from within. It has absolutely nothing to do with what is outside of you. Nothing. That you get to prioritize your own happiness. It means making your own choice. It means choosing to put yourself first. That's it. That is it. And only you know what that looks like. And I think part of why this is so difficult for us as women dentists is because we've been practicing putting other people first our entire lives. It might actually be why you're in dentistry. Maybe someone noticed that in you when you were really young and said, oh my gosh, you are so good at taking care of other people. You should go into healthcare. And maybe another reason why it's so difficult for us as dentists is because we're really good at working all the time, at never stopping. And never stopping means never slowing down long enough to prioritize ourselves. We're constantly in go, 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 do, do, do mode. I just spoke to a beautiful group of women this weekend at Women's Dentistry Collective, and incredible women of all ages, business owners, associates, some who had just graduated this last spring, and they're all here in dentistry. And I posed the question, on a scale from 0 or 1 to 10, 1 being completely calm all the time, and 10 being absolutely frantic and frazzled all the time. Hello, incredible woman dental business owner. If you have been craving more freedom, more joy, and more ease, then this interruption in your podcast episode is meant for you. And so is the Empowered Owner Retreat, happening this November 13 through 16 at the stunning Diplomat Resort in Hollywood, Florida. This isn't just another conference, it's an intimate, transformational experience where we step away from the demands of your practice and the stresses of home and finally breathe, reset, and more importantly, reimagine what's possible. We'll redesign your business model so that it supports your life vision, not the other way around. You'll walk away with practical, tactical tools to reclaim your time, to lead your team with confidence, and be done with all the staffing drama and stress, to build a business that gives you more space and time, more peace, without having to hustle harder. It's an exclusive small group retreat and the spaces are almost gone. I honestly don't know if I'm ever going to be doing this again, so this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So if this speaks to you, schedule a time to chat with me. It's invite only, but I'd love to meet you and see if this is something that can serve you in your life and your business. So click on the link in the show notes or visit www.thebizofhappiness.com to learn more. Your time is now. Where do you find yourself landing in terms of being in go mode? How often are you in that go, do, hustle, get it done mode? In the hours of the day, in the days of the week, in the weeks of the year? How often, from a scale from 1 to 10, are you in go mode? And you know what? Almost unanimously, there was one woman in the entire room. I'm talking almost 60 women in the room. There was one woman who had a number below 5. Everyone else was 8 and above. I'm in go mode 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10 times, hours of the day. I am in go mode. We're really good at it. We're really good at going. And that might even be why you're so successful in dentistry, because you just did it, but it doesn't feel good. And it doesn't do well in terms of taking care of yourself, in terms of slowing down and sitting in front of a coach for an hour and a half. Now, that was the support I needed. This might look different for you, but man, did it work. And that day when she said to me, Tarryn, I don't think this is going to work, was exactly this, the lesson I needed to hear, the message I needed on that great day. I think another reason why prioritizing ourselves is difficult is because we're just unfamiliar at it. We got really good at practicing putting everyone else first. And we're also told that that's important and that's respected. We put our patients first. It's our mantra sometimes in our own business. It's our mission statement. Our patients come first. And yes, of course, that's important for your business. However, not so good for your life. We tell ourselves our kids have to come first. Of course, that seems so important, and it is. Trust me, my kids are enormously important in my life, and I prioritize their needs on a daily basis. However, there is nothing left of me to do so if I don't put myself first. Nothing. I can't show up as an available mom emotionally, physically, if I haven't taken care of myself first. We forget that part. It's that old analogy of, the airplane, put your oxygen mask on yourself first. It's true. And when my coach said to me that day, I don't think you're ready for this, Tarryn, because you're not committing to prioritizing yourself, it landed. I realized, oh my God, she's right. After I got over the anger and the blame and the shame, I realized, wow, this is not even about her and her opinion. This is about me and what am I willing to do? I think another reason why we shy away from prioritizing ourselves is because we're in fight or flight. We're in a state of stress. Dentistry is stressful. We are held by minutes. We are constantly under the pressure of the clock. We are multitasking outrageously, which is not humanly sustainable, but we do it anyway every single day of the week. We have a lot of things coming at us that we take very personally. Our patients' responses to care, our patients, how they show up to the office, we take it very personally. Not just that, but we're doing things that can feel scary. The first time you put in an implant, the first time you put in a mini screw, the first time you get an artery that won't stop bleeding, the first time you pulp out. I mean, there are these dangers throughout the day that really jack our nervous systems up. Now go to leading a team. There are things that jack your nervous system up there too. Let's just give ourselves some grace. We are in constant fight or flight. And to tell ourselves any differently is just in denial. So we're not very good at slowing our nervous system down either. And so when you're in that place of fight or flight, of course, you double book yourself, you triple book yourself. So let me just give you a lot of grace and compassion if you're finding yourself in the same situation that I did, of changing that habit pattern to actually prioritizing your own needs. I'm not saying it's easy, but here's what I want you to hear. You deserve to prioritize your own needs. And the very basic need is your own happiness. It's actually a question of life or death. You know, this weekend I was also telling a new friend of mine, she said, "Why do you do what you do, Tarryn?" I said, because mental health is such an underappreciated need in dentistry. I know this is debated back and forth, but remember, for many years, dentistry was always reported as being in the top 1 or 2 of the highest suicide rates of all healthcare providers. And, you know, the statistics don't matter to me. I know, and I see it every day, of how unhappy and stressed out women dentists are. And that matters, because it does not have to be that way. And it doesn't have to be demonizing dentistry, because it is possible. It is possible, please hear me, to prioritize yourself and your needs, your mental and emotional needs, your mental and emotional well-being, and still be a dentist. And actually, that when you do, man, your practice becomes unbelievably successful. It is possible to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being and be a really good mom. In fact, that's how you be a good mom. This is what my mission in this world is to show women how powerful they really are. And their power is not in how much they give away. Their power is in how well they take care of themselves. Because taking care of other people is the easy part, my friend. Don't you agree? It just comes naturally. We love so naturally. We love so hard. We take care of other people so naturally. We don't have to be taught how to do this. We don't have to be taught how to say yes to other people when they need our help. What we need is to be shown how to take care of ourselves, and you deserve it. You are doing such amazing things on a daily basis. You deserve to slow down, to prioritize you. So let me ask you this today, as you're listening to this podcast. What wake-up call do you need in your life to make today a great day, to remind yourself every morning to get up and say today's going to be a great day, and to recognize how and why, and to prioritize that for yourself? What if we prioritized making every day a great day? This is your life. This is your one precious life. I don't know, maybe we get more after this. I hope so. I want to experience more, but what I do know is I'm here today. This is your one day. Maybe we get more days. Maybe tomorrow will show up. I don't know. Maybe not. But this is my one day. And what are you going to do today to take care of you? Even start practicing it just a little more, 1% more, prioritizing your needs. What if we just made it that small? What if we gave ourselves permission to just say, okay, I'm going to start practicing prioritizing my needs. And it's going to be really small because I haven't done this for a long time. because I haven't prioritized myself and I'm really used to putting everyone else first. How can I do this in a really small way today? What if we just started there? Because you deserve it. Because this is your one wild and precious life. And because the people in your world do need you. Your patients, your team, your family. They do. You are that important. And recognizing and loving yourself enough to put yourself first is one of your greatest strengths and the greatest gift you can give to them too. Because when you feel good, that is when you can do good. Have a phenomenal, great day, my friend. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Business of Happiness podcast. If this episode brought you new perspective and value, I invite you to subscribe so that you catch all upcoming episodes and leave us a review. And if you know of a friend or colleague who could benefit from this perspective, share this episode with them and empower their day. For more information about the Business of Happiness and the Radical Happiness for Practitioners course, find me on www.thebizofhappiness.com. See you there.